Welcome back to the CoolFigurez channel. I'm your host, Jesse the Bat Madrigal, aka the Buff Collector. The information on this channel is for all collectors and not children. And today we are taking a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Mega Figure Killer Croc. If you do enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Jumping right on into this review, guys. Yes, this is the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Mega Figure Killer Croc. Now, this version of Killer Croc is based off the Arkham Asylum video games, so unfortunately, you're going to have to wait a little longer for a comic book version of this guy. However, me personally, the Arkham series, especially Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, those two are probably my top two favorite games of all time. Well, I mean, The Last of Us kind of competes with them too, but I love Batman and those games are fucking phenomenal, so they have to be up there, of course. I do also like this version of Croc himself, so I couldn't be happier with McFarlane's choice. Now, that doesn't mean I am happy with this figure by any means, because it has a big issue with it, despite it honestly being a great sculpt and figure. It is, of course, lacking in a few paint applications, black washes, blah blah blah, but it is a great figure in terms of look. However, we'll get into why it is not such a great figure overall. But of course, let's go ahead and start off by taking a look at everything that this guy does come with. He is a DC Multiverse figure, so he does come with the typical DC Multiverse base right there, as well as, of course, the DC Multiverse trading card. There's the front right there. We can go ahead and flip it around to the back, so you guys can go ahead and pause the video if you want, so you can read that. But yeah, that is it. We do not get anything else with this guy. No extra hands, accessories, or anything. So with that being said, why don't we go ahead and pull him off the rotating turntable and take a closer look. Alright guys, so here we have Killer Croc all up and close and personal to the camera. And man, does he look menacing. Like I said, the sculpting on this guy is absolutely beautiful. As you can see, the beautiful detailing in the scaling of the sculpt and everything. However, it is lacking in some black wash to really bring out those details. You know, it seems like they put a lot of effort and time into sculpting them, but just not painting them, which really sucks. And I'm not just saying that as a collector and because, you know, I'm purchasing these products, but because that's a lot of hard work that can really pop and show off if they just added the proper paint applications. But I guess that's left to us to do as consumers. Unfortunately, you know, we pay these high prices and we still have to do work ourselves. Thankfully, McFarlane has been keeping their figures at a base price point. However, that does come at a cost because, like I mentioned, this guy does have one giant blaring issue with him that really does hinder him a lot as a figure, and that is his toe right here. So I've seen a few other reviews on this guy and they said his toe is loose. However, on mine, it's completely just off. So yeah, mine just does not have the ability to even stay on the figure. So yes, we're paying a little less, but we're also getting a lot less quality. But the other gripe I do have with this figure, one thing that could have really taken this figure above and beyond, Todd, would have been to give him an articulated jaw. I mean, come on, that would have been perfect for this figure. But since you didn't, I would have taken a head sculpt where he just had an open, kind of like screaming, angry face. Because while this is menacing and cool and all, I in my mind, you know, Killer Croc is like, you know, trying to chomp down on you. So his mouth should be open, should be roaring. And so, yeah, that's just me personally. But yeah, like I said, the detailing in the sculpt itself is actually really well done. And you can see all the scaling and everything. So he is wearing, you know, Arkham Asylum pants with a rope right here. And let's go ahead and take a look at this foot so that way we can see the detailing in that. This one's a little more stiff, at least it stays on the foot. But as you can see, it's still pretty floppy. So with him being a pretty big character, especially in his upper body, you know, he really needs some solid foundation in terms of ankles and toe articulation, you know. It's great to have it. However, it needs to be really, really stiff. The other thing is he doesn't have the best ankles, which we will talk about when we do get into that portion of his articulation. But with that being said, why don't we go ahead and get into this guy's articulation? So with his head, it's a little odd. It's not the same as a typical head. So as you can see, it's kind of like hunched forward. It's not quite a normal dumbbell joint situation. So or maybe it is, but it's not a basic neck. As you can see, it's crunched forward. So in terms of looking down, he can look down that far. In terms of looking up, he can actually look up pretty significantly. To turn his head to the left, you have to just kind of like pivot it this way. And obviously it's not going to turn all the way because of the back of the head. It's going to hit the neck right there. But you can also kind of wobble it side to side right here. As you can see, this is a separate piece. However, it is glued onto his neck, so you can't move that. His arms will go out to a T-pose right there. 360 rotation, no bicep swivel, no butterfly joint, single hinge elbow, rotation at that elbow joint, rotation at the wrist, hinging in and out. He actually has quite some ab articulation, so you do have rotation at the lower abdomen as well as the mid abdomen right here, and he actually does crunch down a bit, not too much, because as you see, he starts to kind of fall apart in that sense, but he can crunch back quite a bit. But once again, you get that splitting gap right there, so just be aware of that. Taking a look at his legs, he can join the Arkham Asylum cheerleading squad. Look at that. However, he only does have a thigh swivel, not a thigh cut, which is honestly is better than what they used to come with, which was no thigh movement at all. He will kick forward that far. He will kick back very little. He does come with double hinge knees, which is very helpful for him to go back that far. And taking a look at his ankles, let's go ahead and turn him around so we can take a look at the foot that's actually still complete. His ankles will not move side to side, so you do not get a ball rocker joint. You just get some forward and back action, unfortunately. And this guy really needs some ball rocker action. And last but not least, of course, the toe articulation. So yeah, guys, this could have been a phenomenal figure had McFarlane not, kind of slacked off on the QC and, kind of giving him a little more paint applications and obviously articulation points. But with that being said, that wraps up his articulation. Alright guys, so that wraps up my review of the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Mega Figure Killer Croc. And if you've made it this far in the video, type down in the comments below Croc. That way I know you've made it this far and you're enjoying the content. And if you can and want to help support the channel, please check out my Patreon link down below in the description. Thank you so much in advance. With that being said, guys, why don't we go ahead and take a look at some really cool pics that I took of this guy. If you did enjoy this video, please remember to give it a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a great fucking day.